Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the Warcraft replay. Here we have an undead versus human matchup, and this was played on, I think, the first day of the new year, so kinda old. It has been starred on the website, so curious. I did look at the unit breakdown and it was really weird, because this is like a 30 plus minute game and there wasn't that many units. So I'm curious to see how it actually got to that state. We have EnTe spawning in as the blue undead player in the bottom left, and his opponent will be CrunCher, red human on the top right. I have not casted CrunCher before. He's an American player and participates in the mid to low tier tournaments. So yeah, should be
the damned stand ready.
Should be I guess balanced matchup. I'm not sure how high EnTe's been playing recently, but then again, there's not that many. Is there that many high like top tournaments going on right now? I don't think so. Either way, early graveyard here for him, and it seems like DK versus Archmage on the map Northern Isles. So yeah, I was supposed to cast like a couple days ago, but I just left it to like a week since my last cast. I guess just lazy once again. Yeah, it is kind of a bad time, to be honest. Monster Hunter just came out and I've been gone back to that game, and it's been kind of hard to find time to obviously just sit down and cast a game. But yeah, just going back to this, we are going to have a creep, militia creep at the Ogre Warrior side here. Acolyte just keeping tabs on the Archmage. It seems like he is going to give his life over to the Archmage, however. Not enough to get level 2. Even with that Acolyte kill, he will have to go for something a lot more probably fishy. But here comes EnTe with the very, very early DK harass here. Skill point has been put in, and it is most likely Death Coil. There we go. Gonna be tossed over to the Archmage just to chip him a little bit. But yeah, here comes the Murloc start for CrunCher. He needs to be careful not to lose his elemental to the DK. But DK is of course being harassed by the Footman and fresh elemental either way, so I don't think he's gonna get close by. He might get the Murloc here with the Death Coil, and he also gets the item, which is a bit of a mistake there from CrunCher, but he is able to get the surround onto the DK. And, oh, yikes, loses the Huntsman to the Death Coil once again, but might be forced to burn his opponent's TP scroll because, oh, there we go with the reveal, probably from the Goblin Laboratory, and that is going to be very early kill onto the Death Knight there. Whether or not EnTe was aware of the reveal, or if he just decided that losing the Death Knight is more appropriate than burning TP Scroll early on. I mean, he did get 2 creeps for his life, which is a lot higher than average. But yeah, it is gonna be a bit costly. Less pressure on the map, so this expansion is pretty much free for the next minute or so, and yeah, it did give over level 2, I believe, to the Archmage as well, who is just a step away from level 3, which he will be able to get at this Murloc camp. Crypt Fiends are going to be started to produce, and they are just going to long distance creep for the DK, who still has that little bit of experience from the creep jacking. But level 3 Archmage, he did pick up Sentry Wards as well as a Ring of Regions, so pretty good item so far, considering the camps that he has taken. DK is gonna maybe try and get some skeletons to harass here, but I don't think it's gonna amount to much. That is a lot of peasants quick building the town hall there, so even if he loses a couple of them, it's still not gonna be enough. Skeleton is gonna be able to kill one of those peasants, which is rather nice. Normally skeletons don't really amount to much, but regardless, this expansion is now built and it is going to be fully saturated immediately. Arcane Tower is also about to be done as well, so the skeletons will be pretty useless when it comes to expansion harassment here, as we do lose a footman for CrunCher as DK finished it off with a death coil. Level 2 elementals, definitely nothing to scoff at. So yeah, EnTe is probably not going to you're not going to engage that long versus these guys. DK needs to be careful. He does have TP scroll, thankfully, but really you would want to gain something for that. Lich is going to pop out at 6 minutes, and we are going to fast tech to tier 3. Sword House is being placed down, and yeah, it looks pretty standard so far. Just pressuring your opponent to his side of his half of the map while you take up to tier 3 and hopefully try and just overpower your opponent with, you know, stronger units. Death Coil are going to be used to heal up one of those Crypt Fiends, but that is going to be the last healing from the Death Knight for a while as he is out of mana. Crypt Fiend just going to slip by the footman there thanks to the Unholy Aura movement speed. And yeah, it seems like we are going to have a bit of reprieve for CrunCher as he is building a couple more towers at his expansion. Taking up to tier 2 and it's going to be done fairly soon. Curious to see what he goes for. Just standard double sanctums or rifle casters, or maybe just bumping up to tier 3. But yeah, human undead matchup is a bit of a weird one because I definitely do think humans are kind of screwed later on. Maybe. I don't know, unless you go tier 3, Double Sanctum does seem kind of weak nowadays, so it might just be tier 3 or bust, or it might just be like a huge amount of riflemen. I don't know, it's a little weird for me to comment on because just haven't seen that many human undead matchup as of late. And I guess that's because not many people like playing human. I don't know. Either way, Overseer Camp is going to get taken out here. DK going to be a little shy for level 3, but he does pick up +6 strength from the Overseer Camp.
Research complete.
And oh, is he going to start the Warlock Camp as well? He is indeed. So he's going to take both of the... Are these red camps or... I think they are just orange camps. He'll take both of them at least. And he picks up Ankh of Reincarnation for the DK, and is going to be forced to TP back home as we did have a Zeppelin drop attempted here by CrunCher. That is a lot of footmen in that Zeppelin as well as the Archmage. And I believe, yeah, not the entirety of the camp got cleared out, but the Warlord did. Ankh is going to be given over to... Actually, no, it's just going to get sold. So... Interesting, he is going to prefer getting the gold there, as we do have Archmage being dropped, but the Zeppelin is auto-whipped, so that is a bit of a problem here for CrunCher. He needs to probably TP scroll immediately, unless he is trying to just wait out the web once again. Crypt Fiend is going to get coiled, and I believe... do we have Burrow? We do indeed have Burrow, so if the Crypt Fiend is near death, he is just going to bow instead, but it seems like the Archmage had vision regardless, so the Crypt Fiend did die. And yep, there we go, no more Crypt Fiend, means that the Zeppelin is just gonna pick up the Archmage, and not much economic damage. Oh, that is why we do have a sentry ward at the main base from the Archmage, so he was able to spot the Crypt Fiend there. That's at least that answers that. Oh, destroyers immediately being transformed here, and they're gonna go straight after the Goblin Zeppelin. Thankfully, CrunCher does get a Zeppelin above ground. That would have been rather disastrous if he lost it on top of either the trees or the water, because that would have instantly killed all those units. It's been a while since we've seen such a Zeppelin disaster, at least on the channel. But regardless, Goldmine gets cleared out of here, most likely expansion attempt, as we do have the Acolyte just plopping down those buildings. And we are going straight to tier 3 for CrunCher. Does have a workshop, and he is getting flat cannons for the flying machines, most likely to deal with the destroyers there. I'm always a bit wary when I see tier 3 workshops, because players just like going into siege tanks, but we do have +2 attack upgrades for the footmen and potentially knights, as it seems like we are indeed going to have knights be plopped out from the barracks there, as we do have animal training and the sundering blades being researched as well. Sundering blades increase damage to medium targets, so perfect for Crypt Fiends. I'm pretty sure A-bombs are heavy armor, so obviously you can't hit all the targets there, but Crypt Fiends are the main damage dealers for the undead army, of course, aside from the destroyers, which will be dealt with by those flying machines. Are statues? No, statues are also heavy armored as well. And are we gonna see a couple of A-bombs being trained up yet? I don't know. So far, not yet. But I imagine that should be coming in very soon, since this expansion. Oh, never mind. The gold mine did get interrupted there, so this expansion will have to wait a little bit. Level 4 DK is going to get level 2 Aura, Furbolg, the level 6 Furbolg that drops the item is going to be cleared out very soon, as the Lich also hit that level 4. Item is going to be paired with Vitality, so not going to be picked up, as it seems like both of these heroes are full items. Sack Skull is just going to get used, and yeah, pair up that gets picked up. Flying machines floating around here, as the Magnetor camps get cleared out from both sides, it seems. Zeppelin does get picked up, but it is actually passengerless, so Zeppelin just dies by itself. Tri-hero comp here for the human player, as the Mountain King comes out second and the Paladin comes out third. We do have the Cloak of Flames being picked up here from the Magnetor on the bottom right for CrunCher, and the item on the top left is going to be Legion Doomhorns, so EnTe got the low roll there on his item drop. Completely useless since you already have your Unholy Aura, and I believe level 2 is stronger than the Doomhorn. I think all aura items are, I think, level 1 or level 1.5 in terms of power. I'm pretty sure I remembered this from a long time ago, but I'm not sure if that is entirely true for all aura items. But yeah, we do have the first A-bomb here. He is indeed heavy armored, so should be a good matchup versus knights. But yeah, A-bombs are upgraded. 0-0 versus knights who are 2-1. So this is gonna be interesting to say the least. We do have Spellbreakers as well, so they will soak up, or at least they won't get attacked by those destroyers, thankfully. It's just that they are a pretty bad matchup versus A-bombs themselves. Lots of flying machines, and do they have ground upgrade? No, they do not have the ground bombs there, so might be a bit of a problem. We do have control magic or steal magic from these Spellbreakers, which is a bit weird. Undead don't have any summon units, so I'm pretty sure this is the control summon units ability. But here we go with this engagement. Lots of knights on the ground here. 86 for CrunCher versus EnTe, 66 here, and he is going to be forced to retreat a little bit. Holy Light's being used to heal up those knights as the death coils just being used to heal up the undead units. Flying machines still struggling to take down these destroyers. One has finally been taken down, I think. Yes, that is indeed the case. Archmage did get focus fired, but it is going to be healed up and saved by the invuln potion. And we do have a siege engine, which will be taken out momentarily, as hopefully that's not going to be a trend coming in from CrunCher. We do finally have the ground upgrade for those flying machines, as the last destroyer is still alive and kicking, but oh, there we go with a very nice impale there from the Crypt Lord. Thankfully it does hit those Spellbreakers, so even if it doesn't do any damage, the stun is very much welcome. A-bomb number 1 does get taken down thanks to a Stormbolt, and another impale is going to hopefully pick up all of these low hit point units. One knight goes down, a second knight is gonna drop as well. Oh, never mind, he is gonna get Holy Lighted back to health, as the Crypt Lord did get a nasty Stormbolt to the face, and he is gonna die at level 1. Army supply still not looking good for EnTe, as his Death Knight is being focus fired as well. Is gonna run away, as the Stormbolt did get used to do that initial bit of damage. Needs to be careful not to get too close to the Mountain King. He thankfully doesn't have enough mana for another bolt, but yeah, you just never know. More A-bombs being added to the mix here, as we are gonna have a second Sword House being placed down, so maybe EnTe just mass produces A-bombs rather than those Crypt Fiends, as I honestly don't see any reason to be continue making those Crypt Fiends if A-bombs just have such a better matchup. But either way, lots and lots of Spellbreakers for CrunCher. +2/+2. I don't even know if we're going to go even further than that. He can, since he is casting tech. But yeah, I think he would just be more willing to invest his resources into more units, preferably more knights. But yeah, he is going to start his +3/+3, as we do have Crypt Lord coming back to the battle here, as we do have TB Scroll being channeled by the Archmage. Unfortunately, Siege Engine gets left behind, so he will be picked off here. Is not even going to die for the cause, he is going to die retreating, a coward's death, as expansion on the bottom right gets completed as well. So CrunCher being a bit greedy, I would say. This expansion probably was smarter of an option, because naturally your opponent will be around here to try and defend your expansion, so it's a lot easier to attack this space than it would be here, since this is like completely off the beaten path. But we'll just have to wait and see. CrunCher still at 74 supply versus EnTe's 67, so at least EnTe's gone into upkeep here. But yeah, not that many units compared to his opponent, although I guess his opponent doesn't have that many units over his opponent either, so it is a bit deceiving when we have
Research complete.
tier 3 units. But yeah, those knights, their swords don't have the glowing thing, which is a bit weird. Even though they do have the Sundered Blades, right? Not even. We don't even have Sundered Blades on those knights. So it seems like that upgrade did get cancelled earlier, it seems, as we do have a siege engine trying its best to take down at least a couple of these buildings in the main base here. Ghouls are going to be pulled off to try and take it down, as we do have Banshees adept trained and being mass produced. So just something to answer against those Stormbolts from the Mountain King. We do have the Orb of Fire on the Archmage, which is... it makes sense versus Undead and Orc matchups, since they're more prone to using healing spells. Obviously, it works against Night Elf Moonwells as well, but yeah, it's less impactful compared to like the healing from Death Coils and Healing Waves. So yeah, I do like the Orb of Fire being used there. A-Bomb surprisingly gonna get overextended, and he is gonna die most likely. Never mind, we do have a very nice Impale hitting all of those knights there, and a Frost Nova to try and just burst damage it down, but yeah, surprisingly Death Knight is gonna choose to Death Coil this A-Bomb rather than the A-Bomb in the bottom, so one A-Bomb does go down. Are we gonna lose any of these units on CrunCher's side? It doesn't seem to be so, as the Holy Lights just seem to be too much for EnTe to burst damage it down, as well as the Static Sanctuaries to just heal up or just rescue those knights that didn't get Holy Lighted, as another A-Bomb does go down. Army Supply not looking good for EnTe, as he does lose a Crypt Lord in that exchange as well. CrunCher is surprisingly enough at 93, so he is at high upkeep, which is not something you see all that often, but that is just the benefit of going 3 bases. Knight is finally going to go down, and that is, I believe, the last knight on the front lines here. We still have those spell breaks to deal with, as yikes, a Frost Nova finishes off the Mountain King at level 3. Not something that you see all that often if you have a Staff Sanctuary, but 2 Staff Sanctuaries even, but it seems like CrunCher has been using it to try and save his knights more often that EnTe finally was able to find an opportunity to take down one of those key players there. Level 5 DK, so that does mean a full potential Death Coil there is going to take down the Pally even, which is a bit of a mistake there from CrunCher. He does have double Sanctuaries, definitely should have at least kept one to save one of those heroes. It seems like both heroes just going to get healed up or rezzed up from the Tavern, so that's a huge amount of resources dumped to those heroes, but like I said, 3 bases, or at least I guess we're down to 2 now that we did hit the like 21-22 minute mark. So yeah, this gold mine is about to get collapsed very soon. We might even have an expansion on the top left, maybe. Either way, massacre on the bottom right here. Peasants trying to do the long distance thing. I don't know why they're going through this pathway. It looks like they're going to this town hall, which is definitely not the right choice. It is a bit weird because this town hall is a lot closer than this gold mine, which is super duper weird. But either way, attempted defense here. EnTe's finally above his opponent in terms of supply, which is surprising, but the Lich is gonna get taken down here. Death Coil is just not gonna be enough, it seems, and yeah, no TB scrolls available to transfer over to the Lich, unfortunately. Death Knight might follow suit as, yep, like I said, no TP scrolls, and undeads don't exactly have their own staves, so not easy saving your heroes when they're by themselves. A-bomb is gonna die as well, so very quickly Ent just lost like 20 supply in a matter of moments, and he is losing a lot more as well. CrunCher is going to advance as press as it seems, as he is gonna possibly take down yet another A-bomb. We did have a siege engine trying its best to pressure a little bit here, as the gold line has been spotted by the tri-heroes of the undead. Yeah, it's a little weird that the peasants are long distancing it across map, which is super weird. But either way, this expansion might just get taken out, as it seems like the remaining defenses of EnTe is just not going to be enough. It's going to lose 2 A-bombs within the span, oh, maybe even lose 3 in the span of a minute. One more hit. This A-bomb lives with 8 health, but thankfully the DK finally arrives in time and is going to save that last A-bomb. Either way, this is a really high casualty game. And the casualties are even like high costing units. Knights from the human side and A-bombs from the undead side. We do finally have Sundering Blades there from the Knights, which is still weird to me, since it seems like EnTe's focusing a lot more on the A-bomb count rather than the Griffin count, so maybe he's just sinking his resources into something of that sort, but he still doesn't have +3 armor for the Spellbreakers or Knights. Is selling a lot of the items, it seems, to I guess try and make up for a final army to all in, I guess. It's a little weird since he still has this access to gold mine, this gold mine as well. Damn, did the Acolytes actually kill off these peasants? That is really unfortunate. I missed out on a worker versus worker battle. But yeah, level 6 on both the Death Knight and the Lich. Not really something worth mentioning, since the Death Knight, you can see here, did pick up level 3 Unholy Aura rather than his Raised Dead ability. But the Lich, on the other hand, I am curious to see what he chose. What is it called? It's like Death and Roses, or Death and Decay. Not usually an ultimate ability you see all that often either, because it's just like, it's like a more powerful Blizzard, but the problem with Blizzard is that you just walk out of it. But it's like, in that instance, Death and Decay is a lot worse because it's an ultimate ability and doesn't exactly have the short cooldown of Blizzard. But yikes, you can see there that the undead combo just almost obliterated that Archmage, forcing him to TP Scroll back to this expansion here. Death Coil being used offensively on the Mountain King. Stormbolt has been cast onto the Lich, and we might even have a Focus Fire onto the Lich here. Green Bubble is just not going to be enough to save him, unfortunately. The stun still goes through. Impales are good, but just not enough, it seems. Stormbolt onto the DK there. Possible attempt to try and take him down, but Death Coil is going to force the Archmage to be Sanctuary back home, as he was just a sliver away from actually killing him. Population still 44 versus 52 here. Both sides have seemingly calmed down when it comes to army supplies, since the gold mines have pretty much dwindled, but yeah, the human army just seems to be finding a lot more pick opportunities thanks to Stormbolts. Lich gets revived through the taverns, so yeah, EnTe is just spending his hard-earned cash on reviving those heroes, which is kind of bad because
Our
now
forces
that
are under attack.
now that the Lich has been sniped so many times that the Mountain King is level 5, the Pally is level 5, Archmage I'm not sure if he's level 5 or not since he did get Sanctuary back home.
Our
He's actually
gold
level
mine
6, which
nearly
is usually this indicates GG because mass teleport's just such a pain to deal with. The mobility that you have access to, yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's just that yeah, it's just crazy. It's just seems like he doesn't have mass teleport. That is a level 3 elemental and that is a level 3 brilliance aura, so no mass teleport unfortunately, which is I think a very big mistake. I'm still surprised that CrunCher is sticking 2 elementals at this point in the game, because EnTe's just not stopped producing statues, which means the statues can eventually just become destroyers and just absorb the mana from the elementals. Yeah, not sure if that's the right decision. Archmage did hit the Merchant, but I'm not sure if he hit up the Retrain Tome or not. Either way, Impale into Death Coil is going to bring the Pally down to half health. This might actually be the final fight here. 48 versus 51. CrunCher does have a slight lead, and he does have the Knights to just burst down the A-bombs there. We are going to have a Dark Ritual coming to try and deny the A-bomb, but at this point, just the fact that you're losing a unit is crucial. I don't think experience matters at this point in the game for CrunCher. I mean, yes, it would be nice to hit level 6 on the Mountain King and the Pally, but I don't even know if the game is going to last that long. EnTe is just going to hit into 42 supply, so hopefully try and equalize things a little bit here, but I guess here we go. Once again, Stormbolt surround onto the A-bomb. Are we going to have another Impale from the Crypt Lord? Oh, never mind. It seems like Impale doesn't hit Spellbreakers. That is a bit of a mistake, whoopsies, but I don't think it matters all too much here. Knights, I don't think a single Knight has actually dropped, and that is thanks to just having access to double Sanctuary and the Holy Lights. Do we even have triple Sanctuary? No, we don't. But regardless, Acolytes are going to be pulled over to try and do something about it. Nova Coil combo onto the Archmage is going to get completely mitigated there thanks to the healing of the Pally as well as a health potion. Nova Coil onto the Paladin there is going to get sniped by the auto attack of the Lich. Another Impale going down hitting the Knights as it seems like the Crypt Lord might be traded for the Pally. A Knight is going to go down as the other one gets Sanctuary back to home. Crypt Lord does die at level 3, but is that going to be enough to turn the tides? I'm not entirely sure. Basically all you need is the Lich and the DK, and then Nova Coil just does so much. With the Pally dead, Mountain King is looking to be pretty dead right now. There we go, nice long distance Frost Nova is gonna finish the job, and it seems like the 1-2 punch here from the undead heroes is going to be the winning factor, it seems. Good on CrunCher to actually GG. You don't usually see GGs coming out in ladder games, but that is gonna be that. Despite CrunCher having so many units, it seems like the Lich Death Knight combo is too strong versus the Tri-Hero combo from CrunCher, or humans in general. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I do apologize by mistaking that Impales actually hit Spellbreakers. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again next time.